Let us cross to the wilds of the Wimmera in Western Victoria and catch up with the blogger to the nation, Tim Blair, Daily Telegraph columnist. Great to talk to you, Tim. I've got some bad news for you, though. I know that you realise that universities are the fonts of all wisdom around the world. So what they tell us, we've got to take seriously. That's where all the intellectual firepower of the world exists. And the University of Exeter in the UK has put out a video and some research on climate change, and listen to what it's telling us.
Current climate policies, or lack of them, are putting hundreds of millions of people at risk. This is a critical decade. The actions we take now will make a difference between life and death for millions.
Run for the Grampians, mate. We're all in strife.
I love it when English people complain about global warming and then spend, like the British tend to spend half their year complaining about global warming and the other half holidaying in Florida or Spain. It's a bit of a mixed message, really. Also, I think they're complaining now in that latest bunch of crap is that we're looking at rises in temperature of 2.7 degrees, which in Australia we call moving to Queensland. This is not excessive. Walking from one end of my hallway to the other here in the Wimmera, I will go through a temperature variation of far greater than 2.7 degrees because one end of the hallway has got a heater going, the other end not. Come on.
They've never learnt just to dial it back a bit. You know, hundreds of millions of people are now at risk, and they wonder why people just, their eyes glaze over. Now, another issue, you have a different take on this. I just heard from Linda Burney, the Minister for Indigenous Australians. She's rapt, of course, that the NRL and the AFL and all the sporting bodies are backing the Voice. You, like many footy fans, sports fans and former sports fans, reckon stay out of it. Just let us focus on the sport.
Well, like yourself, Chris, I've spent a lot of time, attending live sport. I've never heard anyone cheer for sports administrators. They will cheer the athletes. They will cheer the score. They'll cheer a close result. They'll cheer an admired opponent. But they won't cheer for administrators because administrators, they're the boring people. They're the ones who are always, bossing people around and so on. This might be a tactical error on the part of the Voice, of the Yes campaign for the Voice, is to align itself with the major bodies rather than the athletes themselves. And the athletes, you don't want to sort of push people into things as well. They might look a little bit pushed around. Quite besides which, Chris, the best sport in the world at the moment has no administrators at all, and that's the freelance sport of removing climate demonstrators from roads. It's terrific.
Yes.
Very thrilling.
Yeah, we need some more skill in that department. I know you've given up on your Collingwood Magpies because they went too woke, but sadly, mate, you getting off the bandwagon has only strengthened them. The bastards won't lose at the moment. So you've got to get back on board.
I'm all behind the Narrabri Quantong Bombers at the moment here in the Wimmera Valley. A great result last week for the under-14s. Good for them.
At least they don't tell you what to think. Yeah. Now, also, I've just got to show you the latest bit of wisdom from Carmela Harris. I know you're always listening for her advice.
Oh, of course.
Without semiconductors, your smartphone would not be a smartphone. It would be a paperweight that occupies a big space in your pocket.
There you go. She knows what a semiconductor is.
Also, she knows what a paperweight is, and she knows what something useless hanging around occupying space is, which right now is the Vice President of the United States.
Yeah, indeed it is. Thanks for joining us, Tim.